All right, hello. Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about Bunsen burners. So I have 3 different kinds of Bunsen burners that you guys could potentially find yourselves using in this lab. You have to know how to ignite and snuff that Bunsen burner, and you need to know what the various bits and pieces are for. So I want to go through that. The first one I want to talk about is the one that we actually have the most of. This is the one you are the most likely to be using. This here is the gas valve. You should not ever adjust this valve. Period. You should never touch this. Okay, do not adjust this valve. If you adjust this and screw it up, then we're going to have to spend some time fixing your Bunsen burner before you can actually do the lab. Okay, this is the nozzle where the gas hose is going to be hooked up. This is where the gas flows into the Bunsen burner. And then this right here, this collar, this is your oxygen regulator. Okay, so this one's a little tight. Okay, so I'll move this closer. So this little nub here, that is the lock that restricts how far this can go. Okay, here, the oxygen is open. Here, the oxygen is closed. Okay, you have to be able to open or close your oxygen regulator to do this lab. It's going to be one of the things you have to do as part of the prep steps. So make sure that you know that. That should be one of the first things you look for. Okay, that one has a really tight oxygen regulator. This one's a little more normal. Okay, this one you'll notice doesn't have a gas regulator. It's just got the valve and the oxygen regulator. This oxygen regulator is basically the same, but it's a lot looser. This one is a lot more freely spinning. So here it is closed because you can't see through the Bunsen burner. Here it is open because you can see through the gaps. So oxygen can get in here and it cannot get in here, or at least very little can get in. Okay, and this is the last one. So on this one, you'll notice there is no oxygen regulator on the shaft. We'll get to that. Okay, the gas regulator's in the same, or there's no gas regulator. The gas valve is in pretty much the same spot. On this one, the oxygen regulator is actually on the bottom here. So this is the oxygen regulator. So here it is open, here it is closed. Okay. The way you tell is you pick this up and flip it over so you can tell whether it's open or closed. Once you have checked it once, you should never have to check it again because you should know whether you have opened it or whether it is closed. When you light a Bunsen burner, you always make sure that your oxygen regulator is closed. Okay, and we'll go through, I'm going to show you how to do that for each of these, and we'll kind of move forward from there. Yeah, the gas valves, I'll kind of show you those as well. So I'm going to pause this now and set up the first one to demonstrate. All right, so we're going to ignite this Bunsen burner. Oh, I need to flush the gas line. Hang on, let me pause this. Okay, so here I have a wire mesh. This is obviously where you're going to be putting your matches after you have lit your Bunsen burner. First thing we need to do is make sure that the oxygen regulator is closed. It is. So then I'm going to reach over to here, and I'm going to lift this, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, or sorry, 90 degrees, so that the valve arms are parallel with the actual hose. Okay, now I'm going to close it because I've been letting it run for a second, and I don't want to do that with gas. Okay, and now I'm going to reopen it, and I'm going to light this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to light the match. I'm going to open the gas, and I'm just going to hold this over. Okay, then take your spent match, set it on your wire mesh. I now have here, you can kind of see it, what is called a cold flame. Okay. Yeah, that don't work either. Okay, I now have what's called a cold flame. Okay, it's called a cold flame because it doesn't have very much oxygen. It is by no means actually cold. Okay, now if I want a hot flame, then I'm going to adjust the oxygen regulator or open the oxygen. Come on. Okay, and now you can probably see it a lot better and you can hear it. Okay, this is a hot flame. Those of you who go on to take chemistry will be doing a lab where we actually use a hot flame. But for this lab, you just want a cold flame. So you'll just want to leave it like this. You want a large flame more than a hot flame. Okay, so that's how you light or ignite this Bunsen burner. The process of snuffing it or putting out the Bunsen burner is the same for all three of these. You just reach over here and turn off the gas. When you turn off the gas, the Bunsen burner will go out, and that's the safest way to do it. So now I'm going to swap this out with a couple other Bunsen burners, show you how to light those. Okay, so this is the second one that I showed you. Again, we need to, first off, make sure that the oxygen regulator is closed, which this one's not. That oxygen regulator is open. And then we want to light the match first, open the gas valve, and then light the flame. Set the thing there. And again, you can open it to get a hot flame, but we want to stick with a cold flame, and we will snuff it here. Okay, so then we have one more. All right, so this is our last one. This is the one that's a little harder to tell. If you look at the bottom, this is currently open, so I have closed it. So now the oxygen regulator is closed. So I'll get a match. Once again, light the match first. Come on. There we go. Open the gas and light the flame. Okay, now this one obviously has a slightly oranger flame, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, and when you open this, this one produces a very hot flame, but as a very large and yellow. And you can, if you want to get rid of the yellow, you can tweak the oxygen regulator. This is when it's fully closed. If I open it just a little bit, then the flame turns blue like the others. And if I open it a lot, then I get a hot flame. So you can kind of tweak that with this one to give you a little more customization. This one's a little harder to tell, but it's still pretty much the same thing. And again, you will have to snuff it by just turning this off. Now, it is not unlikely that at some point you're going to be spraying and your flame is going to go out. If that happens, you need to immediately turn off your gas. Okay, if your Bunsen burner flame goes out, turn off the gas immediately. Okay, that's because we do not want that gas to be just filling the room, especially since there's going to be someone directly across from you and behind you who has a lit Bunsen burner. If you're pumping gas into the room, that's going to be a real problem. Okay, so turn off the gas immediately if your Bunsen burner goes out, then go about the process of relighting it, get a match, and all that. But don't just go, oh, it went out, let me go get a match, without turning it off while it's just pumping gas in the room. Okay, turn it off first, then get your match, and then go from there. Most likely this is going to happen because most of the time this happens because students are spraying at the base of the flame. You want to make sure when you're spraying, you should be spraying up above the flame. Okay, so that the aerosol is coming down onto it or moving through it from the side. But if you spray the bottom, you are spraying water on a fire. You will snuff the flame like that. So if that happens, it's probably going to happen at least a couple of times in each class. If that happens, just turn off the gas, then get a match and relight and all that. Okay, any questions? I don't know why I'm asking questions. This is a video. That's all I've got for this video. I'm going to have one more video that goes through the procedure, a little more involved, and then we'll go from there. So this should be there will be one more very brief video.